Hi friends. Well, the rainbows are dancing. I just have to record something so that you can enjoy them. So, here we go. This is a journal from 7/27, the first one of that day, and that was an Ascension Day. That was a day of 13, which makes it the Ascension Day, 13 Jaguar. All right. I am so glad to be journaling today since it's not just a Mayan-calendar Jaguar day, but also a 1 Jaguar. And that doesn't come around so often. Very special energies. Go here to find your Mayan birthday and sign. All it takes is entering your birth date. Link is in the transcript, of course. Actually, it's at the top of every transcript. Just click Mayan Day and it'll take you to the website where at the bottom you can put in your birth date and find out what your day and number is. Plus, you'll get a little summary of the energies involved. What brings me to the journal, though, is sort of a sad feeling inside. I'm not clear on where it's coming from or what it is, so the journal's the prescription for that. When we will let flow and just journal, so often things will come clear. Now, maybe not totally clear all the time, but at least more so. Good enough. In answering comments on my videos, I make contact with all sorts of people in all sorts of states. Friends, we've got to be very cautious about how we feel. It may not be us at all feeling that. We may have simply tuned in to someone else who is down or angry or having those feelings, whatever they are. Be alert. Remember, you're telepathic. Now, maybe some will think this is a bit sad or at least confusing. Not that I'm saying we can telepath feelings, but we're better off not trusting even our own feelings. Well, let's step back from it a bit and take a good look. What are these feelings anyway? Do some of us have them perhaps confused with being in heart? It's certainly possible, since feelings or sensings, which is a closer word, are our most direct link up with higher self. So, just what am I saying here, right? Okay, source, please clarify. There are feelings from heart and feelings from our gut or outer persona to be distinguished here. The divine feelings are noticeably different. They all seem to come with a powerful undertone of divine love. Even anger can come at times and be undergirded with this unconditional love. It's amazing, often surprising. Our feelings have us. We don't have them when in heart. And be in heart for this to make any sense. So when a feeling comes up, we won't necessarily know its origin right away. So we just watch if we're wise. Observing will tell the tale. Sometimes we may need to do something like what I'm doing here. Go to the journal to uncover more. Or it may just be shown as we observe. Take this feeling of sadness that's on me now. I'm just watching it while focused in heart. I'm neither judging it as bad or wrong or negative, nor running away from it. Just being with it is how I describe it. Inviting it to tea, so to speak, in silence. Parenthetically, yes, we can have inner silence even though we're engaged in words otherwise. As I watch it, I am open to it having any origin, whether from within me, from this or past lives, from source or from someone else, or even the collective. It could be anything. So it's an open sort of watching that we do, with a knowing that we don't know anything. This is best. Otherwise, we may block something we weren't expecting and get a false result. Open and empty, fearless and welcoming. eyes of heart. I wait for the feeling to talk to me, to open and reveal itself, or not. Sometimes what happens is that my higher self or spiritual guide will speak up instead, showing me something. Often what will happen with a supposedly negative feeling is that, unaware of it, we will have some barriers up against it. We're blocking it from being too close, from being able to share its message with us, yet unaware of this. If that's the case, that we're blocking it, then we may have to sit for quite a while with it in silence, and it won't talk. We want to be sure we're not only not blocking it, but that we actually welcome it warmly into our awareness. It is here for our benefit, as everything is. We can acknowledge that, and sometimes that'll help, or not. Be unattached to any outcome at all. Don't expect that it will be revealed to you or that it won't. Just be open and empty and be with it. No more. In doing this, sometimes the feeling will take you somewhere in your body, some particular area. Just go with it. As you do, more will likely come forth. Now you can just go with the flow. You're in emptiness, so you're easily led. Like a feather, you're sensitive to the slightest breeze or energy current. Openness rocks. Though you're in heart for this, you may now find images or thoughts coming up. Don't chase them away too quickly. Instead, be with them. Continue to observe. Welcome whatever comes up. And yes, even if it hurts. And this is where detachment shows itself to be a good friend. In those images or thoughts will at some point be the key to the feeling you're tracking. So continue to watch. Be like a bloodhound. Stay on the track. Sense into it, whatever shows up. Just watch and observe, maintaining that openness that welcomes it all. No judgment of any kind on anything, just open and allowing, going with the flow. We can all do this, my friends. It isn't difficult. With a certain amount of detachment, it's actually really easy. And with sufficient belief gardening work preceding it, we're in even better shape at being open, able to see what our previous programmed beliefs hid from our view. All of your beautiful work culminates in the now, brings forth its benefits there. Now, maybe one of the questions left here is, are you willing to see, no matter what it is? And sense into your answer to that. It will have been instantly revealed to you. So it's just a matter of listening in. Those whose focus is typically pointed inward will be quickest to catch these subtle messages. This is internal communion, self to self, and it's beautiful, but of course, we are the instrument we're honing here. We are the gift we bring to the earth and to our brethren here. All of the work being done on self will turn out to be anything but selfish. It may be time to drop whatever our beliefs are around that word, selfish. Chances are excellent what we know is just blocking our view of what is, since what we know isn't at all true in most cases. Putting self first is one of the finest things we can possibly do. We've got loads of programming telling us just the opposite. I don't have to lay it out for you. You already know. Well, time to pull those belief weeds. They're blocking our growth. Self is your business, your implement, your powerful gift daily given to the whole of cosmos. Because you are you, it makes a significant difference to the whole. We've also been programmed to minimize the self, to think we're inconsequential and that nothing we do, think, or say counts or amounts to much of anything. More weeds to be pulled for sure. That's stuff and nonsense and pretty much opposite of that which is true. That's a very dark territory to wander in. We're both entangled and fractal, and thus so joined at the hip with the whole cosmos that our changes reach in to change the whole. There are so many possible perspectives to take on this, so just be flexible. You never know where heart flow will be leading you next. Being open, empty, and non-attached puts you in perfect shape for any trip. And sometimes it'll hurt. Don't think it won't. While you're self-observing, do all you can to witness and remove all blocks to the flow, all resistance you uncover. How to remove such blocks? Well, usually just by observing them, but the flow will reveal to you whatever you need to know. Truthfully, we on Earth today know very little of what it's like to be truly human and at our full potential. We're undercover gods, little g, at this point, and some of us are finally getting wise to this. And sure, it's shocking. Considering all the ridiculous programming we've received, it's amazing we can even escape from that enough to see anything clearly. So let's be generous, be truly loving with the self, and yes, even with the ego. Don't worry about it. It's not your enemy. Nothing is. Not even the powers that were. No enemies because no judgments. That way is very dualistic, so very old Earth. You have to choose to be someone's enemy. They can choose to be your enemy, but if you don't make that choice, hey, let them do their thing. We rise and stay above that here in the realm where we contain all the poles, the polarities. Nevermore will we feel the need to choose up on one or the other side, to polarize. When we do, though, that's no problem. That's just to drop back down into 3D. We're multidimensional, friends. Let's own it. Let's not feel limited by something that's happening in our 3D environment. Remember, that isn't you. That is a character in a play. Another way to see self is as a thought in the mind of Source. Source is completely unhindered and free and made only of love. So let us nevermore look on life through eyes of anything but love. Heart vision. Let us see more and more with eyes of Source. She'll loan them to us. We can do this simply because we are that. We only forgot. Well, now we're remembering. So let's enjoy the view. As we learn to look at life with these love eyes, oh, how things will morph for us. They'll begin to reveal their inner, their previously hidden nature. It was hidden by us and our ways, not theirs. We're suddenly surprised to see nothing but love. Everywhere, only love. And more different elements of the same. Underlying, unconditional love. Suddenly, somehow, everything is okay, just as it is. We realize that the things were not wrong. What was wrong was how we were seeing them. Over time, we are shown how what was going on was that we were projecting our unhealed stuff out on everything we looked upon. We'll be so amazed to see the underlying purity there wherever we look. It's our work in healing the self by putting the self first that has brought us to this stage of healing. Well, that's one way to look at it. But at some point, you just know that you were simply danced to this stage, into this ability to see with eyes of heart. You didn't really do anything. It did you. Do you get that yet? If not, never fear. It'll suddenly make itself crystal clear to you, and you will laugh and enjoy. Blessings, dear heart friends. Namaste.